All right, so in this video, we're going to subtract some vectors. So given v equals 3i minus 4j and w equals negative 5i minus 6j, graph v and w as position vectors, then find the graph of v minus w. All right, so let's go ahead and start by taking v and breaking it down into its two components. So remember that we have, when a vector comes in, we have a horizontal component and a vertical component. And the value of a that is attached to I is going to be the horizontal, and this value attached to j will be the vertical component. So we can say that v is just simply the vector 3, negative 4. And then when we look at w, we can just simply say that w is going to be the vector negative 5, negative 6. And from there, we can go ahead and make some graphs of those two vectors. So let's go ahead and start that. We take v, it is over 3, horizontally 3, and vertically 4. So 1, 2, 3, and down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that will bring us to this location, which we will call vector v, with the horizontal and vertical components of 3 and negative 4. And notice it will end at a terminal point of 3, negative 4. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and put w on there. And w just simply says that we have negative 5, negative 6. So I'm going to go negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we start, since it is a position vector, we need to start at the origin and go out to its terminal point, which is negative 5, negative 6. And we can go ahead and mark this vector w as horizontal component of negative 5 and negative 6. Okay. Now, in this case, our goal is to determine what is v minus w. Well, when we've done this before, we always started the we always started by graphing the initial vector. So we're going to graph v, which we already know is there. We've graphed it to 3, negative 4. Now what we're going to do, so this is our start, okay, is we're going to take minus w, and we're going to start this from the terminal point of v. Okay, but now the important part is to think, well, it is minus w, and this just simply means the opposite. Okay, so if w is negative 5 and negative 6, that means minus w or negative w is going to be the opposite of that, which is just simply 5 and 6. And what we're actually saying here is that we're turning the direction in the opposite direction. So I'm going to say the horizontal component is 5, the vertical component is 6, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go over 5 from the terminal point of v, which is the ending point of v, and I'm going to go over 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to go up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what I'm saying is I'm starting at the terminal point, I'm going all the way out, and that will bring me to this location right here, and that is minus w being, or w being subtracted from v. Now, the one thing we do want to do at this point is we want to go ahead and say we need to find out what v minus w is. Okay, so if I want to find out v minus w, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start back at the origin, and I am going to go to that point drawing that position vector. Okay, and let's go ahead and get what that position vector is. We'll call it v minus w, and that is over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and up 2. So that is over 8 and up 2. Now, some of you may, at this point, kind of recognize an easy way of doing this, okay? Well, if we're talking about figuring this out or subtracting these, we can, how do I get 8 from 3 and negative 5 if we're subtracting them? Well, I just simply say, well, what is 3 minus negative 5? Or in this case, x2 minus x1, okay? And then I can do the exact same thing. I can take negative 4 minus negative 6. which is the same thing as saying y2 minus y1. Now, it doesn't really matter. All x2 and y2 are saying is start from the first point that you pick. So I picked 3 to be my first point. So that means when I go to y2, I have to make sure that I am starting here with that 4, and you can see that -4 showing up right there. So we can actually just subtract the horizontal components and then subtract the vertical components, or 3 minus -5, 2 negatives make a positive. We can have 8. -4 minus 6, -6, 2 negatives make a positive. That's -4 plus 6, which is 2. So that would mean that the component for v minus w is simply 8 and 2. So we can do this graphically, or we can do it algebraically.